Good morning, everybody. It is 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and we're going to take a look at a few things in this update. So, we do have a lot of moisture streaming in from the Pacific Northwest over the next basically 10 days. We're going to see a lot of that pile on, and I think this is the beginning for a very active December and later part of November. I think the polar vortex is going to split by November 15th, and we're going to see a lot of Arctic air stream into the USA by then. As you can see, by November 4th, right here on this model image, we're seeing a big storm here for parts of Canada. See that gray there, right there in the eastern part of Canada, right there? That could be interesting, but that's also an indicator of a lot of the patterns starting to shift because we're going to see a lot of warm air the next 10 days in the eastern half of the USA. But I think right around this time frame, November 5th, 10th, and 15th, we might see a lot of Arctic air start to just dive deep down into the USA. And let's take a look if that's an accurate prediction. Let's take a look at the GFS model off NOAA.com, and we're going to take a look at that. And let's take a look at our 1,500 millibar thickness. So basically just your typical weather map for this type of scenario. So, all right, so there's a ton of warm air the next 10 days, and we even have just a lot of warm air. But here we go. By November 3rd, you can see a lot of that cold air in Canada start to dive south. It's going to be a battle because, again, we still have a lot of warm air by November 11th. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm going with around mid-November. We're going to see a pattern change into cold and a lot more of winter fun and games that might take place. Let's review our NOAA seasonal outlook for this winter. Again, they just released their seasonal outlook, so let's take a look at that, December through February. And again, just a lot of cold air for places like Minnesota, North Dakota. This is tremendously cold. This is not like a little bit of cold. This is tremendously cold. We're talking about 2 deviations below normal for a 3-month period. So, you can get a few weeks of warm in there, but overall, you're going to see a lot of cold. 2 to 3 to 4 weeks of below zero there for a long, maybe even longer than that. Let's take a look at our precip though. So we see our cold there, but do we have the precip to go along with the cold to create snow? So again, we have the precip, but it's kind of further south where the cold air is. But keep in mind, you don't need Arctic air to get brutal, heavy snowstorms. So this is why I'm thinking this area in Ohio, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, we'll see multiple upon multiple heavy snows this year is because we just have a lot of precip here forecasted. And you can have warm, mild air, relatively speaking, in the winter to have a big snowstorm. So this is just a very good indicator that we might see a lot of heavy snows here around Cleveland, Ohio, around Detroit, Michigan. So also western New York, places like Syracuse and Buffalo and Chicago. Don't forget Marquette, Michigan, Cincinnati, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, and also above all the Northwest. I think is going to see a snowy winter this year. So just wanted to do a little update on that, guys. Much more to come. Make sure you like, comment, and share my content for much more long-range weather content. And take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.